we'll scroll down and take a look at their end user license agreement. Amended from time to time. This end-user license agreement, as amended from time to time, hereafter referred to as terms or EULA, set forth the terms and govern your use of the games and software herein referred to as games and software, offered by Koch Media, that thing, Gambit, 1, A6604 Hofen, Austria. Koch Media may at any time in its sole discretion update this EULA agreement. Please find further information in regard under Section 17 of this agreement. Please read this EULA carefully, as this EULA is a legal document stating your rights and obligations in connection with use of the games and software, including any services you access through the game software and any purchase you make through the game software. Why would I make purchases? Why would I make purchases through this game software? I read through this stuff. They really try to make it sound like, oh, we've got, this is ours and you can't touch it. And it's like, yeah, I paid you money to play the game, man. If you do not agree to the terms of this agreement, do not download or use our game software. Before downloading, installing, accessing, and or using the game, please go through the following terms precisely. Well, it's a little late for that. I already downloaded the game, because this didn't come up until after it was downloaded and installed. When you use the game, you acknowledge and agree that you, 1, are at least 14 years old. I'm only 3.5 years old. Or such other minimum age as is applicable for such an agreement in your country of residence. In addition, our privacy policy provides you with understandable information about our use of personal information we may collect from you during your use of our games or other services. Please read all of these documents carefully before accessing our games. And give us your credit card number, the expiration date, the 3 digits on the back, your name. By purchasing the game, you subject to the user requirements below. Koch Media grants to you a non-exclusive, non-licensable, non-transferable, non-assignable, terminable, and revocable personal right to install and use the game on 1 computer console. Except as expressly authorized in these terms, any use of any portion of the game without our prior written permission is strictly prohibited and constitutes an immediate termination of the license agreement herein. Any such unauthorized use may violate applicable laws, including civil laws. See, this is their effort to slap in a clause into the EULA that you agree to the moment you download the game from the game store, even though you haven't had a chance to read it, that says they can just turn off your game if they don't like you. Standard copyright disclaimer. User-generated content. We may offer the ability for users to create, modify, design, upload, embellish, or otherwise alter objects or other elements. User-generated content, or UGC. They mean mods. We may let people mod. By submitting mods, you grant Koch Media, its affiliates and partners, and their successors in business, and assignees, employees, licensing agents, representatives, a perpetual, irrevocable, worldwide assignable, and sub-licensable, non-exclusive, royalty-free license to reproduce or distribute, perform, modify, edit, display, adapt. They want to take all the rights for your mod, is what that boils down to. That's what you get with all of these companies now. It's like, if you made something really cool and we want to sell it, we're going to take it from you. To the extent permitted by applicable laws, you hereby waive any moral rights and rental rights you may have in the mod you submit. You also grant each user of the game a non-exclusive license to access your mod as permitted through the functionality of the game and under these terms. The license grant and the above waiver of any applicable moral rights survives any termination of this license. You quit doing and try to take it down, we want to use it, we're going to use it anyway. Who are they kidding? No one made mods for this. The content of the contributions does... The contributions? What? The mods. The content of the mods does not reflect the views of Koch Media or its affiliates or subsidiaries. I have to do this right. Excuse me a minute. This might be loud, folks. Headphone warning. The content of the contributions does not reflect the views of Coke Media or its affiliates or subsidiaries. Anyone associated with Coke Media, its licensors or licensees, the services, or any website. Coke Media reserves the right to review and remove any mod at any time without notice for any reason and in its sole discretion. Coke Media specifically disclaims any liability with regard to mod. Some mods may have elements of content that some may regard as excessively violent, vulgar, distasteful, explicit, sexually provocative, lewd, crude, hateful, taunting, harassing, threatening, and otherwise of questionable taste. If you object to or are sensitive to such content and do not want to be exposed to it, please do not proceed. If you encounter something, don't use the mod if you don't like what it's in it. Oh, come on, people with this caps. In all cases, you are solely responsible for creating and or making use of mods. Coke Media may suspend or revoke your license to use the game or parts, components and or single features thereof or other products, real and or virtual, and or services and or websites connected to the game, collectively services, if you violate or assist others in violating the points set forth below. You agree that you will not, in whole or in part or under any circumstances, do the following: alter or modify alter or modify or attempt to alter or modify any part of the game or other services. If you try to make it better, we'll shut you down. Publish, post, upload, transmit, distribute, or disseminate content that is beyond the acceptable level of content Coke Media has set for its games and services, such as content that is illegal, harmful, abusive, threatening, harassing, vulgar, distasteful, sexually explicit, political, libelous, defamatory, obscene, embarrassing, unwanted, rude, hateful, or racially, ethically, sexually, or in a reasonable person's view, otherwise offensive or objectionable, or encourage others to do so. I'm going to need you to define a reasonable person. Blah, 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 blah. Use the game for services in a manner that could damage, disable, blah, blah, blah. Use Use the game or other services for fraudulent transactions or other criminal means. Exploit, distribute, or publicly communicate any error or bug which gives an unintended advantage. What? You speedrunners, don't y'all be speedrunning. Don't y'all be showing people how to speedrun. So this is just a stock EULA with certain keywords pasted in. I imagine they send it with every game. If you agree to a beta test, you must sign and return Coke Media confidentiality terms. This is irrelevant. This is not a beta test. Connection with beta test, Coke Media, this is as generic a form as they could have sent. You're talking about stuff that's completely irrelevant now. Why is that even in here when you don't have to have it in here? You're using it to bloat the EULA so people won't read it. Warranty. All the way down here, and I'm only a little over halfway there now. Because of its complex nature, software can never be expected to be completely error-free. Putting in a little thing here in the warranty section that says, we're not responsible, doesn't work. You can't just avoid your responsibility when you make something and release it and sell it to people, and it's no damn good. There are limits to this sort of thing. For users based in the EU. I'm not there, so that one's irrelevant. Or threatened claim arising out of the related to use of the game, violation of the terms, applicable law, rights, blah, 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 blah. In other words, we can't be held responsible for anything that happens because you went online and didn't like what happened. Termination implies the destruction of the game as well as copies. Coke Media might terminate this EULA. Oh my gosh. The thing is, this is a copy-pasted stock EULA, and yet They haven't corrected typos like that. Koch Media might terminate this EULA with immediate effect in the event that you commit a significant violation of these terms. In such case, you must promptly destroy the game without substitution or remove the game client from your hard drive. I'm very glad that we didn't pay for this. Sample withdrawal form. This is all just kind of junk, to be perfectly honest. Updates to the EULA. Koch Media reserves the right to modify and update these terms at any time, for example, for safety, security, legal, best practice, and/or regulatory reasons and in accordance with applicable laws, especially if we need to change something to protect ourselves because everybody's refunding the game all at once, or we put something out that started causing irreparable damage to people's computers. Then we get the right to make all kinds of changes, don't you know? You may not use... They really thought this was going to make them money. Isn't that sad? They were that diluted. You may not use access or otherwise export or re-export. I'm so glad we didn't pay for this. I don't specifically... I hereby confirm that I have read and understood the above end-user license agreement, including all the float and bluff that we could. Bloat and fluff. By installing the game client, I confirm my acceptance of these... sorry, I gotta do it.
I hereby confirm that I have read and understood the above end-user's license agreement and all the bloat and fluff that we could cram into it by installing the game client. I confirm my acceptance of these terms contained therein without reserve.
And there's no way anyone under any normal circumstances reading all of this. Their own people clearly aren't, because there's several typos in there that I was shocked to find.